What's up, guys? Coming in. If you could, someone give me a sound check. Make sure you can hear me okay and everything. We finally got some movement on Bitcoin, which is good. Finally broke out of that chop range, so we have some pretty good momentum going. So we finally see where Bitcoin is going to take us. So we're going to check it all out. Okay, I know it's Saturday and it's kind of midday here, and there's, it's a lot of college football games on, so I'm not going to take too much time up waiting on people to enter and whatnot, because, everybody may be busy. So we'll go ahead and get started. And of course, as always, the live streams are recorded, so you can always just check back another time and watch the recording and see what's going on in the market. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin here. Okay, so this is what I had been charting for several days now since we got that big first push up on that 40% pump there. Is that we were ranging here underneath this 100-day moving average, and the key level that we had to break for the bulls was 9,600. And these wicks, we got some wicks up, but they don't count because we needed candle closes. So there were a lot of rejections right here in this range that were noted on pretty much every update. And I also noted to watch how the 7-day moving average is going to round out there. And now you can see it curled back down. And then look at the 7-day right now as it is. This is the daily time frame. So our 7-day moving average did not come up and break above the 100-day to continue a bullish trend. It actually rolled over and now crossed back down under the 200-day moving average. It's a very bearish sign, which we fully expected, and that's what we were looking for. That's what we wanted, but we had to get out of this chop range, because if we go down here to 4-hour charts, let's go to a mid-range. So this was one of the key levels of resistances to break, and we failed multiple times. So we had this range low section down here. So we had our range lows and our range highs up here, and then all of this in between was just chop. And that's a nightmare to trade. I didn't take any trade. I think I took one right here towards the 1st of November, and that was about it. Then I moved over to alts. So I got one little scalp right there. But I didn't trade any of this mess here. Didn't trade any of this crap here. Even though it's a good range, it's 10% from that wick down to this wick. But it took about 5 days to do or so. Which is fine if you're swing trading on lower leverage, 5x, 10x. But the chop range was pretty evident, and even I've seen Twitter just get absolutely destroyed trying to guess. And I don't know how many times, every 2% pump, oh, we're going to 11,000. No, sit down, plebes. You're getting destroyed. So we see a very similar case right here. If we look at this structure here, after a good, nice little push up, and then we just kind of consolidated, slowly making lower highs, and then a big drop. We're doing the same thing here, and that is quite evident. Lower highs, and then we finally broke the structure. So we are certainly, now we are breaking this range low right here at this 88.70 mark. So this is a good sign for the bears. So 4-hour right here, we're kind of bottomed out. We might get some consolidation and might catch a short-term scalp pump. I don't want to say pump because People think, you know, $30 is a pump. So I expect us to stay now. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we can, since we broke some support levels, we can now erase this resistance zone, or even really just kind of move it down, really. So now this is going to be our resistance. If I can get my mouse to work with me here and just grab that line. Okay, so I fully expect us now to stay under about 9,200 as we kind of snake our way down. The daily is gone full bear again, so it's a good sign for the bears, and we're not looking for any monster major weird target. So we're just probably going to snake up and then snake back down and just work its way down. To back that up again, our normal notes, look at our MACD. Our MACD went under bear here. We just crossed bear, got that bearish histogram. We tested this first support right on, so if you happen to catch a short up in that 93, 9,200 range that we had been calling for several days and closed that short there, that's fine. We should be expecting a low time frame push back up. Let me see the 2 hour here. Doesn't have a whole lot of strength. 3 hour doesn't look too shabby, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to pump up here to this 9,100 range. I would expect us to really kind of reject here at under 9,150. So if you're scalping long, I wouldn't hold out in hopes that we're going to get this top area. I'd go ahead and close that scalp long under 9,150 there. That should still be a pretty good, decent amount. Yeah, that's about 4%. That's still pretty good. But I wouldn't long it yet because we don't have the strength here in the 6 hour. We could just kind of snake down just a wee bit more, maybe catch one wick just a little bit lower to go ahead and top us down at 8,500 before we get the push. Or it could consolidate here. Let's go back a little bit in the chart history. So if we look over here on the far left, we got some tops of candle confluent zones here. So this is where we're in right now. We're using this structure here as support, also off of this wick right here as support. I think I noted that in one of the updates. And then if we go further over in the history, it's the same area right through here. So we got some tops and bottoms that we're using as some confluent support as well. So this could be a dead cat bounce area right here for lower time frames. Other than that, we're still overall in a bearish downtrend now. So I wouldn't expect anything higher than this red box zone. And again, if you're scalping long, let's give it just a little bit longer. See if we can get back over 8,800 again before maybe taking that long to scalp it up to about 9,000, 9,100 and flip back short. Ooh. Nasty, nasty 2-day drop candle right there. So we could still range. We could, if we're copying over and looking for similarities, you got, you know, drop candle here, we could drop candle there, and then maybe just range for a few days, which is perfectly fine by me because lots of alts can move. Let me go over to Bitstamp and get a much, much bigger picture. There, that's what I wanted to see. Monthly. Alright, so look at the monthly MACD here. Look how rounded out that is, ready to roll back under and go back down. Sorry, we are not in a bull season. This is still very much a bear cycle. I don't care what crypto Twitter says. They obviously are wrong way more than they're right. And look again, once again, since the big push up to 14,000, we're still making higher lows on the monthly. Now, if I turn on the moving averages, the 7-day moving average hasn't quite rounded out yet. So this means that we're still likely going to range. We're only still in the beginning of the month, so there could be a good bit that happens, but I want to see the 7-day round out and then roll back down for some good confirmation for a swing, long swing short. So there's still a lot that can happen here in this candle. We could still only just top down as low as that 8,000, 8,500 range. Maybe even wick down to about 7,700 here off of this wick and scrape the top of those candles and then get another monthly push up until the 7-day rolls over. So the 7-day hasn't rolled over, but it looks pretty convincing and confirming given this candle how we're now under the 7-day moving average there as resistance. See, we have a candle body, not the wick. Don't count the wick. Just look at the candle body itself underneath the 7-day moving average. And then couple that with OBV looking to go back under and our MACD looking to cross under. That's going to really kind of just paint that picture that I showed you guys a good while back of it just kind of snaking out and working its way back down until, I don't know, next year or two. I just don't see any major movements coming. Why are some of my moving averages missing here? Oh, that's because that's the monthly. Okay, so if you guys remember from one of the last live streams, I noted here on the 2-week, the 2-week. Look at the 2-week, 7-day moving average there, pushing that candle back down. I think I noted that on the last live stream that we kind of topped off on a candle body right there at the tip of the 7-day, and then it's going to push it back down. And there's our MACD going under bear on a 2-week time frame. Okay, so what we're going to be looking for now is we're still going to watch for a continuation of this downtrend. I want to see that 7-day cross bear underneath the 20-day moving average right here, this blue line. And then like this was showing, this price is just going to snake down. So I really think we are on our way hitting to that $4,100 mark by spring. This is going to be pretty well right on with that. Excuse me, 20, that may even be too soon. Trying to do some math here. I just don't see having the Bitcoin halving in May having too much of an effect on this. I don't think it's really going to do shit. I think if I remember correctly from some of the readings that I've done, that Bitcoin doesn't have a next major bull cycle for like 18 months after a halving, which would really kind of put this in line with 2021 if this were to snake its way down and consolidate here. So I know we're looking at a much bigger picture, but I did have some DMs ask me when would be a good time to start laddering in for some super long-term bags, or some buy and forget bags or whatever, because they want to accumulate Bitcoin for the next 5 years. And I don't think this is the time yet. I would be looking closer down here around the $4,000 mark, because we are heading in that direction. And I mean, that's a pretty significant drop candle right there. Yep. So 7-day crossed under the 200-day moving average there. Nice drop candle. It's showing bear, MACD bear, OBV bear. So now the next test is going to be what happens when the 7-day crosses or meets the 20-day. Now, given how much that is rolled over, I'm pretty confident and certain that we're going to cross back under the 200 or under the 20-day moving average. So I would expect us now, over the next few days, to come back down and test somewhere between 8,000 and 8,500. I think we'll reach all the way down and test the bottom of this zone here. right at the bottom of this confluence and try to catch all the bottom of these candles and wicks right there. So I think we'll probably test a little bit closer to 8,000, and then we'll catch a bounce up. I don't think it's going to go all the way back up here to about 9,000. I think we may come up and test the top here, right where we are. Okay, so I'm really kind of just looking at this if this was a natural progression here, not you know, a 20% dump and then a freaking 40% pump. If this was, God, that was a big dump. I'm looking at this as this is just a natural slow takedown. This would make sense here. So if we're breaking this range here, we broke our range lows, we're on our downtrend drop. We need to come back down here and test this support zone. Okay, we need to come back down here and test this support zone. Catch a dead cat bounce here on these high time frames. If my thingy would come back up. And then we'll come up and test that. And then the bigger drop down. So we still got plenty of time. I think the rest of this year we're going to hang out in this zone here, likely above 8,000. And that's going to be good for alts. That's going to be really good for altcoins as well if we range in this area, because a lot of altcoins look really, really good. So this is what I see for Bitcoin on a daily time frame. So if you're a swing trader, I would wait to see, to grab along, I'd wait to see the reaction down here closer to this major support here. I just don't see how Twitter is so bullish. I mean, they're probably not bullish now. They probably changed their tune 13 times and say, oh, I told you so. Well, we've been bear pretty much this whole time. So we're still well within this channel play. We're still going to come down and test the top of the middle of this channel now. See if I can kind of guesstimate about the middle of that channel. My lines are funky. There, that's a little bit better. Something to that nature. So somewhere the middle line of this channel, look where that is landing, right there, right at that $8,000 mark. If we were kind of scrape these candles right here for some support, we're gonna test the center of that channel, catch a dead cat bounce, and then we're gonna snake our way back down. So this is our channel that I expect us to be in all the way up until middle of next year, maybe summer of next year. Or spring, whatever, right before halving or something. I don't know. We are just going to snake its way back down. So that's Bitcoin. And again, for you guys on the lower time frames, if you're looking for a scalp long, I would not look anything higher than 9,100 or so up here somewhere. We're now going to use, since this was a confluent zone, excuse me, and we broke this local support right here at about 91, yeah, about right 9,100 or so. Since we broke this support right here, we're now going to use it as resistance. So if we're going to catch some swings, or I'm sorry, some scalps, not swings, wouldn't expect anything higher than 91, and then snake its way back down. I don't think it's ready yet, so don't long yet. It doesn't look ready because we still need to hold this zone right here first. Okay, so let's move over to Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum kind of let me down because this looked really, really bullish the other day off of these really nice histograms and this nice little push right here. But it did once again fail to get a candle close over that 192 mark. that we've had as a resistance zone for quite some time. It only wicked up to 195, so it didn't close over the resistance. And if it closed over this resistance, I was looking up here towards around like 205 or something for the next target. So it failed, and it does not look pretty now. We are now about to lose this trend line right here. The MACD does not look that great. RSI looks a little bit choppy here. So let's see what the higher time frames look like. 2-day looks like shit. I think the weekly was still bull though. Yeah, the weekly is still bull, so I'm not going to rule it out yet. But look at the 7-day here. It's not showing, you know, too much strength right there on the 7-day. So what we need to see here for Ethereum to be bull is we need to see this 7-day right here kick back up. So it needs to do some kind of number like that there. Otherwise, this next weekly candle tomorrow could be another drop candle to come back down and test some areas of support to consolidate just a wee bit longer, and then could get a push up. MACD doesn't quite look ready yet either. MACD could do this, come back down, and then again back into that spring area right around Bitcoin's. We're expecting Bitcoin to make a big move, so it could do something to that nature too. But it doesn't look quite ready yet where it sits. And I still have to make a video to show you guys how to read and fully understand and incorporate MACD and moving averages into your thought process for gauging direction of charts. Because it's a pretty simple, I guess, relationship, and it's also quite deadly effective. As you can see, I've been using it religiously for Bitcoin and pretty well been nailing every move. So it's a really effective method. Double top on the RSI, double top on the price. Look at the 7-day there. Rejected at the 200-day and rolled. So now the 7-day is in a pretty heavy downtrend, but it's not breaking the support of 180 either. So it can do this shit here. I don't really like ETH. I think ETH needs to come back down, and I think it needs to touch that 174 area one more time. Let's see, you can see it here. Look at the 7-day here. It low-key wants to reject off of the 100-day as well and roll back down. And MACD low-key supports that too. So I'm on the fence with ETH. I don't like it. 8-hour here. Trying to hold, but RSI is not showing any strength. OBV doesn't look too terrible. And it's still holding above the 200-day moving average on the 8-hour. So it's not terrible. It's kind of a no trade right there too. Because look, your range high up here in this red zone and your range low down here for support. And you're kind of stuck in that middle zone right there like with Bitcoin. So, excuse me, it's got to make a move either way. And so far it's trying to hold on to that trend line there that I just stuck an arrow on the end of it. So no trade on ETH. I don't particularly like this structure here. You can even argue this could be an ascending triangle. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, this could be an ascending triangle here, and these mid-time frames could snake up. Oh, God, that's terrible. Let me do that better. Could do that too. I'm not really a fan of ETH right now. It doesn't look all that great. It needs to show a little bit more strength in either direction, because it has failed multiple times to break this resistance, but at the same time, it hasn't failed to break any supports either. So it's in that chop range, kind of like Bitcoin was. So I'm going to shelve F, and I'm going to wait until there's a move in either direction. Either we get a close over that 192, 194 area, or we break this trend line and we break below about 180, and that'll give us some clearer direction down to 174. And then we can look down here to long it. Okay, so let's go over to dominance, Bitcoin dominance. So we're going to start looking and getting into altcoins. So this looks pretty damn dead on from the last time that we looked at dominance. From the last live stream, we were expecting a nice little pop up here to the 70% range, or the 70 on dominance, and rejected. And it did exactly that. So it's followed this pink arrow line that we had from the last update to a T. So this was a dead-on call for dominance, and this is really good for alts. So now what we want to see for dominance is we need to break this 68 right here, and we need to start getting down in this lower 60s, because we really want to see some good altcoin plays, and they're actually looking really, really nice. Ooh, that is a nasty drop candle on the 2-week. Yep, dominance is in a full downtrend. So the rest of the year, probably up until February even, could be really, really good for altcoins. Because this right here, 66 or so, is our last major our last support zone before dominance catches a nice fall all the way down here to about 60 even. So what we want to see over the next few weeks, or months rather, going into spring of next year, and this kind of lines up with the thought process that around spring of next year, around halving, Bitcoin hype is going to start popping up again, because, you know, oh, halving, blah, 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 whatever. So Bitcoin could see some bullish movement then, and a big bullish movement would kill alts and pump up this dominance here. So this could snake down and work its way up until about halving, and then catch this support right here, and then catch a bounce and kill alts again. So we want to make sure around spring, somewhere around 60 at the dominance level, that we are out of altcoins. But from the current looks of this weekly, we are pretty well good to go to play alts. See, this is November. God, that's going to be pretty well right on. We're good at least until February to start playing alts, and maybe start looking to scale out of some then. So dominance looks good. Nothing to worry about on dominance. We're in a full, nice little good downtrend. So we'll hop over and look at altcoin market cap. Okay, sorry, I had to step out for a second to get some more tea. All right, so altcoin market cap, also from the last update, looks to be incredibly well playing out also. Nice MACD roundup here, looking to cross up bull. Nice uptrend for market cap on the altcoins. Still expect us to hit this resistance zone up here, maybe even as far as tap into this top up here. And this should, again, coupled with the dominance falling and the altcoin market cap increasing, this kind of backs up that theory that altcoins are good to go and good to play at least until spring of next year. So nothing to worry about there. Alts should be good. So let's go check out some. Okay, so Komodo, KMD. I think Noza first checked this one out, so he did a really, really good job of spotting this one. I love this project. It's a really great project, and the chart is just beautiful. So this is the 2-day chart here. Let's go back to the 1-day chart. And I think Noza found it or called it down here back at, in the 600 area. So awesome call by Noza. I believe that's where he called it there, or one of us did. So this has been a good 70%, 60% run so far since we first called this thing down here at the bottom. But again, look where it was called. So this wasn't a quick, 60% run. This took, let's see, let's just say the 2nd of November or so. So this is going on well into a week of holding. If anybody happened to catch that. Still looks on track to test this resistance zone up here, right around that 200-day moving average. So I think it's still got a good little bit ways to go. This doesn't look like a great rejection point. I think it'll at least come up and test broken support levels. So for KMD, we want to see come up and test. Distribute, come back down, and then catch a nice little pump up there again. So this has been a great start, great call for KMD so far. So it looks like it's got a little bit left in the tank to at least come up here and touch this 1100 Satoshi range. So it's still got about another 20% left in it. And of course, there's nothing wrong with taking some profit off of the table here and letting some ride as well, because we are inching up towards some overbought situations here. But I do fully expect it to come up and test this 1100 to 1200 Satoshi range before rejecting down. Mega swing, if you're looking at weekly time frames and you plan on holding for a few weeks or so, a month even, a lot of potential left in it. It's still likely got another 100% to come up and test this major broken support level here. But I would like to see this pull back first for an uber swing trade and hold until spring or something to get the rest of that get that great profit in there. So let's look down at lower time frames now. Yeah, this has still got a little bit left in the tank, it looks like. So look at the 7-day right here. Look at the 7-day moving average. Oh, we just opened a new candle, so that kind of shot that theory down. Because I was going to show you that the 7-day moving average here had this candle as support. As you can see, the 7-day was pushing that candle up. So the trend is still continuing there. It's showing a little bit of divergence here. Actually, it's not really showing a little bit of divergence. It's showing a lot. So look at our RSI. 1, 2, 3 touches on this line here. Failing to make a new high. At the same time, price is making a higher high. So RSI is not making a higher high. It's kind of flattened out right here, but the price is still increasing. So it's not a bad idea to take a little bit off of the table and leave a moon bag and ride it out up until the support of this resistance zone up here, because I still think it's going to hit up there. got a little bit left in the tank. Okay, so that's Komodo. We want to see. I really want to see this resistance zone right here hit, and then fall back down and pull support resistance flip right here around 800. And I think to help this along, I think it's going to take a big Bitcoin move or a dump or something to make this fall. So let's see if we come up and hit this resistance zone. That may be too steep of a drop, but at some point we're going to have to test this 800 to catch a support resistance flip and then continue for the trend. So this is what I see for Komodo. Go ahead and take some off the table. Leave a little bit for a moon bag if you're still in it. High time frames haven't shown the weakness yet. However, we are hitting some seriously overbought on the indicators. And we're coming up on this major resistance zone right here. Okay, so Nano is another call, or is another call, and it was a great first push so far off of this bottom. It also reached only 30% or so, and I don't know if anybody remembers from the last update. I think we had, or from the last call, we were looking at this double top right here. Okay, so one of the last updates was to watch for this double top here, and of course we got some wicks just above it. But if anybody grabbed some profit and then reloaded off of this this bounce right here off of this support resistance flip, you can see that SR flip right there, cutting across all of these tops and this top here. So this is a great place to catch a rebuy. So if anybody happened to sell up here and then catch a rebuy up here, then you bagged another 10% on top of that 30 from the first run already. But again, I don't like the looks of the rejection underneath this resistance. Look at the 7-day. It is rounded over. We did cross under bear or OBVs in a downtrend. So I low-key am expecting this to retest that support once more at about 1020, 1030 or so. It's not looking too great for a continuation right there. Nope, it sure isn't. This does not look like a good continuation pattern. So we're just going to snake its way back down and test that 1000 to 1030 mark again. I think 980 is going to be too low. Oh, what happened? Okay. So I don't like where it's sitting now. It's not showing a whole lot of strength. It looks like it's going to start weakening a little bit. So if you're still in it, just move your stop losses up, maybe to about, I don't know, 1080, 1090 or so, just in case it does dump below. You're out in time, and then you can catch the rebuy down below. Now on the weekly time frame, still look at that, still an absolutely beautiful weekly candle. Really strong candle, showing still continuation of an uptrend. However, by that next candle, we do expect that little bit of a pullback on the next candle. So we're still expecting an uptrend, but we're going to need to see a small slight pullback right there to about that 1030 mark. and it still looks good. Absolutely beautiful swing trade chart right here. Look at that 2-week. That's beautiful. That is a really, really strong candle. Okay, so swing targets were still full. I'm still fully expecting 1400 to test, come up and test this wick and cutting across right here on these candles here. And then for an uber swing trade by the time, I don't know, January rolls around, maybe February, I do expect Nano to come up and still retest this area and test this broken support level here. Around 2100. So it's still a great swing trade looking chart. I don't see anything whatsoever. And look at the RSI on the 2-week. Barely a tick up off of that strong candle. So if you're not worried about the day-to-day chart, if you're not worried about day-to-day price, and this little dip that may happen back down here to 1030 area, just swing trade it, let it ride. And I still think it looks really great. Let me back up my notes here. If you guys got any requests or anything, by the way, something that you're in and you need to wanted looked at, throw them out there and we'll take a look. Okay, so I'm going to leave these notes here. This is what we're going to watch. This is what we're going to watch to see happen. We're going to watch to see if we do not break and close over this 1130 area, and we do test this support zone once more time, and that may be the last time that we see the price that low, around 1,000 to 1030 Satoshi or so. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so waves. I know some people are salty about waves. Any and every time that they've played it, they've been burned by waves. But they've got a lot going on their Twitter. Let me go pull that up. Okay, so here they are at Odyssey Polaris. I honestly don't know too much about what that is, but it's some kind of big event that they were sponsored at. Their Dex, I think Waves Dex has had some kind of breakthrough or something in the coding. I might actually, just for shits and giggles, try this game here. I don't know what it's about, but you know, who doesn't love crypto games and win free money? Oh, so it was the Odyssey Hackathon. Okay, so that's what Waves was at, and I don't know what the Polaris is. I don't know if that is something specific to Waves platform, but I'll look into it. But they got some updates going on. They got some movement. They're doing something. So I'm just waiting on this pump here. Now look at the 2-day here. The 2-day did cross over bull. There's our bullish MACD cross. There's our bullish histogram. Price is still like really bottomed, and if you notice this little structure right here looks awfully similar to KMD's before its push. So KMD went 65% off of, look at this little weird looking structure right here down at the bottom. You got some bottoming out and some doji candles. It looks quite awfully similar here to Waves. So I'm just patiently waiting for this thing to take off too. I really want to see at least, if I can get my mouse to work. I mean, Jesus, I don't even know where to put this. right there. I want to see waves at least test the tops of this broken support right there. I at least want to see a good 30% test pump and then fall back and then up again. So this is one badly beaten down coin, but I don't think they're dead yet. Look at the 2 week here. Need a stronger candle there. It doesn't look as good as Nano's 2 week candle, but look at the MACD. And I think, let's see, this. Okay, so this is October 28th. So tomorrow we should see a new 2 week candle, which will push this just a wee bit over more bullish there and finish rounding that out. And then it should round this 7-day moving average out a little bit more too. So it's a good bottom coin here. It looks really bottomed. Don't see anything to worry about. OBV on the weekly is in an uptrend. RSI is completely smashed out, but it's starting to catch a little uptrend as well. So it's a good bottom coin to look at and jump into. And again, I do like this 2-day here. I do like this 2-day crossover. So I'm just waiting patiently for this one to pump. So this is what I see for waves. Some of you guys asked about Raven, or I've seen some chatter about Raven coin. And Raven actually looks pretty good too. So if we look at the overall structure, I don't think it's fully ready yet. The MACD is not fully ready. However, it does look like it's in a pretty decent buy zone. But you got multiple touches here on this bottom structure here for some major support right there. So this is not a bad looking chart right here. And again, this is the 2-day here, okay? So nice candle structure, nice rolling up of the 7-day moving average there, nice price candle there. So it doesn't look too terrible. I'd expect somewhere up here around 385 to test. Hey, Sean. Yeah, we can look at Lind and ERD, no problem. Yeah. Still salty about Lind. Lind cost me to miss some serious profit. And Lind, I know a lot of people probably didn't play Lind or probably didn't even look at Lind because lending in crypto isn't that mainstream yet. It's not that popular, unlike interpolarity coins or anything like that. But Lind actually went on a monstrous tear. I am just so shocked that a little known coin like Lind went on the run that it did. But you got some of these other, big popular coins. I mean, obviously KMD finally broke out and went on a run, but you got Nano and Waves and other coins that didn't see those kind of returns that Lind did. But I mean, that's really great for Lind. Cyber Miles, CMT. Now, this isn't a coin that I'm too familiar with as far as fundamentally. Is it a blockchain for the e-commerce? I've started to look into this project. I'm actually kind of surprised that I didn't know about it sooner. And I think their Twitter has like 300,000 followers or something, or 100-something thousand followers. So I'm kind of just blown away why this isn't talked about more within the crypto community. But it's actually a pretty decent blockchain. I mean, I'm still going to look into it a little bit more, still do some research here and find out a little bit more about the project. But it's actually not that bad. I mean, I think it's very beneficial. So let's start here at the weekly. Weekly, for the most part, overall is still in an uptrend. You can see price action here. This wick still off of the 7-day moving average. It's just got to get some more buying pressure to push this back into at least a bullish doji candle or something by the next weekly. 12-hour, really nice hold here over the 100-day moving average. So we're building a new base here above 200. Where's my MACD? There it is. The order books look to be pretty well in the bulls' favor too. A little bit of a bull flag structure here. My mouse is really sensitive today, by the way, guys. I do apologize. Okay, so now we got a bull pennant, and here is our resistance zone that we're holding under. So we haven't broken out of the accumulation pattern yet. Okay, so here is our zone. Let me just go ahead and so if this were a wick off pattern, and I know you guys are probably tired of me saying this, this is our accumulation zone. This is a textbook spring right here. So let's look at this. Okay, so this is a textbook spring pattern. So look at the accumulation pattern here. We're in a range. No, thank you, go away. We're in a range. We're bouncing around and accumulating. What the hell? No, I'm not interested in increasing my knowledge. I could trade better than you bastards anyways. Okay, so we're in this accumulation pattern here, and then we got that spring break, or not spring break rather, but that spring push below to make a new low, and then it got a good first pop. So that's kind of what this looks like here. So here's our accumulation pattern bouncing in this range, and we got that spring just below it there, and then that nice big push to take out this top of this resistance zone here, and now we're just falling back to consolidate. So this looks damn near identical to a typical or a textbook wick off pattern. So now we're consolidating above the bottom. Look at the SR flip right there. Right through the middle of this confluent zone, or right through the middle of this accumulation zone rather. Right off the tops of these wicks, or these candles here, and the bottoms of these candles here. So this is a good support resistance flip to try to hold. Now if we zoom back down to the 6 hour, it looks a good bit stronger here. So as long as CMT holds here above about 200 Satoshi, I think this looks to be a good breakout pattern. And you can see that bull pennant a little bit better here. So a good confirmation that this is going to break out would now to be get a close above 236. But this looks textbook right here. Accumulation pattern, spring, and then now we're going to snake our way up. So I want to see a next target now up here around 300 to 320 or so. It looks like a good zone there. I'll take that. Yep. So okay. So that's Cyber Miles. I mean, again, this looks like a textbook wick-off accumulation pattern, and that looks like a textbook spring. That's pretty well exactly what this looks like. I need to look into this coin more as far as the fundamentals behind it, because it did seem pretty interesting. Okay, so let's go look at Lind for you, Sean. I don't know what's up with this Ave. I guess they changed their name from Ether Party to Ave or something. I don't know. And just for the record, one more time. That right there. I got liquidated by 1 Satoshi right there. And missed this hell of a nice party right here. God, I'm so salty. 1 Satoshi liquidated me, and I never bought back in because I turned and looked at other coins to play. Okay, so daily, it still looks to be in an uptrend here. This is crazy. Okay, so this was a really strong push. An absolutely really strong push. Now this, looking at a bottom structure here, you would have normally have expected the top of this to hold as resistance, since this was a confluent zone. So you would have expected this to hold and reject here, then fall back down to pull a support resistance flip and then push. But it's doing the opposite now. And it actually used that resistance from the breakout above that resistance as the support resistance flip there. And it pushed all the way up to the bottom of this previous broken support, or yeah, this previous broken support zone here. So all of this support, support, and support, and support. So there's no breakdown here, and then this is where it broke down. So now we are looking at this zone, at the bottom of this zone, if I can get my damn mouse to work right, as resistance. So Sean, I would watch the retest of this zone here for a double top right here off of this wick. I'd watch this zone here to do a double top. Otherwise, this is going to be... where's that wick off again? Okay, so this is what you need to watch for. Okay, so if we are looking at this as another wick off pattern, accumulation pattern down here, and then you got your mark up. Okay, so if Lin does not break and close over 190 and then start pushing on up into the mid 200s, I would look no higher than 240. But if it has to break this resistance zone first, otherwise this whole structure right here in between this resistance and this support is this right here, a distribution. So what that means, oops. So what that means is failure to break over this resistance zone, then it's just going to bounce around and then distribute back down. So this is a key level right here to watch this resistance zone right here at 188. If it can continue the push and continue the pump and close over 188, then I'd look up here around 240 or so. Again, this is only if it's a clear bullish break over 188. that I would look up here for this. If it fails and rejects again under 190 or so, then I would be looking to see if this is going to be turned into a distribution pattern before the markdown, and then it falls. This may be too low of a drop right here, though, so I would expect it maybe to at least go to 103. Okay. Man, what an incredible run. Yeah, I'm actually leaning towards that. Look at the MACD. A long drawn out uptrend, and now it's getting a little bit overextended. RSI is still kind of overbought. So I would watch to see if this pattern just distributes and fails to break 190 again. That looks about right, actually. Okay, let's go look at ERD. This quite honestly doesn't have a whole lot of chart history still. Okay, for Elron, that's going to be your key level right there to break. So Elron, watch Elron come up and test 34, and then that's your key level that it's got to break right there. This wick right here, matching these small confluence candles right there, and off the bottom of these two wicks right there, that'd be your first test. So if this were to pump still, this still has, let me see, not that one. Still got about 40% left in the tank if it can hold it, if it can sustain this push and not break this little curve channel right here. So the support level that it has to hold above is obviously right across the tops of those candles. That looks to be about 21 or so. Yeah. Okay, so as long as Elron can hold here above 21, it still has the strength to push up here to 34, and this is where I would watch your key level for a rejection. Okay, if it falls below 21 again, then it could prove to be turned bearish. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of chart history to get a good clear picture. I don't like this candle right here, though, on the 12-hour. But 2-day still shows a strong uptrend. Daily shows a strong uptrend. I mean, 3-day still shows a strong uptrend. I bet you if I were to turn on the moving average, the 7-day would be right underneath this candle, forcing that up. Okay, not quite, but it's still a bullish uptrend. Okay, good. So you already had this target then? Awesome. Okay, so you're kind of along the same page there. So yeah, if you targeted the same area, then your analysis is correct. Why did I just turn the moving averages back on? So yeah, I mean that still looks like a good uptrend swing right there. Under 20 and you cut it. Bingo. You got it, man. You got it. If there's anybody else watching, if you guys got anything that you're in and want looked at or whatever, throw it out there. I know it's Saturday and it's football day, college football and whatever. Maybe some people on the other side of the world are sleeping, and that's fine. But if anybody's got anything else they want looked at while we're here, just throw it out there. Otherwise, I'm going back to the gym for round 2 and then take my wife out to dinner. Okay, so let's run through these one more time just to see if anything has changed. Doesn't look like anything has really moved. Don't need to look at dominance or altcoin market cap anymore. Don't need to look at Komodo. Yep, doesn't look like much is ADA. I think ADA had a really nice weekly chart. Yeah, ADA's got a strong weekly. Here's accumulation right there. Okay, so the key level to break now for a breakout is right there at the top at about 500 or so. We'll call that 510. So this is the breakout point right here at 510. This is a weekly time frame. There we go. That's what I see for ADA for swing trades. Test this wick here, which cuts across this wick, and these two tops of wicks here are around 650 or so. Up, support resistance flip after the pullback, and then up again. Now again, this would be the target going into early next year, the end of this year or so, around 900. So that's a good 100% gain, and that's plausible for ADA. They got a lot of movement and stuff going on, but this would be a pretty good uber swing trade right there. But all signs here of this accumulation pattern point to a breakup. And now, of course, I would certainly expect this right here to be a first target to retest that wick right there and these two wicks right here. So that's plausible. Yeah, it looks like a solid trade. This is a clear accumulation pattern. Your OBV is in a clear uptrend. Your RSI got that nice good first tick up. And of course your MACD is still bullish too and still in a bullish uptrend. 2 week also. Strong accumulation pattern on the 2 week and strong MACD so far too. Now again, this is a swing trade even up to this 650 zone, so this could still probably take until the end of the month for ADA to get there, end of November. But yeah, it's got a solid setup. Really nice accumulation pattern. It's just got to get a close over 510 to confirm that breakout. Anything else, guys? Grin? Yeah, really solid base for ADA. That looks like a really solid trade. Grin on the Bitcoin. Lack of chart history here. Well, let's see if we can get more out of the 2-day. Oh my God, this is ugly. Look at this, just bleed out, this downtrend. Ugh. Man, this is a tough one right here, dude. Dear God. Jesus. What a nightmare. Yeah, it's certainly in price discovery. I mean, most altcoins, they went negative 94%, in a year. This has done it in like 6 months. All right. So one thing that we can say that Grin has going for it is that it did look like, or does look like, it at least bottomed here off of this wick. It does look like it's holding a double bottom right there. It does look like it's in a little bit of an uptrend, but I mean, it really needs to start reclaiming this zone right here. This was the last support zone, so I would not get excited about it until it at least claims this broken support right here. Otherwise, this is just going to reject right here at the bottom of this zone, and then it's just going to roll back over again. So if it can't come up and claim and then maybe flip it there and continue, then it's just going to do this right here. Because it's already rejected here, and it's got 3 nasty little wicks. So it could just test that zone and then fall back down again, and then maybe build a base for accumulation here on a triple bottom, and then push. USD more down. Yeah, I kind of figured institutions dumped it. It was heavily shilled, and it was supposed to be some big, monstrous, awesome, amazing project or whatever, but it looks like it's ended in just a massive failure. So that doesn't surprise me. But I would not be interested in this until, see, this is the Bitcoin pair. I would not be interested in this until it at least starts testing, what is this, about 1800 Satoshi? Well, this is Bittrex. How far? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in this until it at least tested this 1800 area. Otherwise, again, like I said, it's just going to fall back down and then enter an accumulation pattern holding off of this double bottom, which would still put it back at a 30% dump. Now, if it can claim here, if it can claim this and then at least break above it, then I might be interested in buying the pullback. But if it can't even test this resistance, because I mean, we're already on this is a 3-day. We're already showing a little bit of a bearish candle right there, and then look at the structure right here. It's showing some struggle, some failure to keep the uptrend going. So if it, and yeah, I mean, if it can't claim this zone here, I wouldn't touch it. Otherwise, it's going to roll right back down and retest around 11 or 1000 to 1100 again and triple bottom. To me, it just really looks like shit. This is just a monstrous bleed out. That's horrible. Calyan, do you want Neo on the Bitcoin pair or USD pair? Neo does not look good. Okay, so look at this here. Okay, so this was our resistance zone that we had from the first push, and there's been no break above it. So now what this is doing like what Bitcoin is doing. It's consolidating under resistance. Look at your MACD. Your MACD is looking to cross under bear. So there is no break and close over this 1230, 1240 mark. We're still holding under resistance from these 2 candle bodies right here, and this top zone right here, and this wick right here. So what this is doing is that like I showed on that wick off. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing this already, but this looks like it's distribution. This distribution, what distribution is basically a consolidation under resistance. So what I would expect for Neo now, if it cannot break over 1230, which doesn't look likely, is just kind of wiggle its way back down and test this green box for support, and then maybe consolidate for this next push. Yeah, so Neo does not look really all that appealing right now. Okay, what else? Beam? You want to look at Beam? I see you mentioning Beam. Isn't Beam like the same as Grin? Well, this doesn't even have enough chart history either. I don't like these coins with limited chart history. It makes giving TA kind of hard. So what Beam did here is Beam flipped this resistance right here into support. So see, here is the bottom, and then here is the push, and then it pulled back, and then it pushed again. But this still was the resistance zone because all of those candles forming this top right here and then rolled back over. So now we got a break above it, and now it's flipped it. So now we would want to see Beam test the next level of resistance, which could be all the way up here. That may be too big of a push, though. Maybe not. No, that's not too bad. It's only 20%. You bet, Sean. Have a good one, brother. Okay, so Beam is not showing any divergence. OBV just got a nice big pushback up bull. I mean, this still looks all pretty bull so far. Look at the pushback on the daily. Nice big histogram there. RSI still in the uptrend. Not much you can do with this one really because there's not really a whole lot of chart history. But I would be looking up here. Still shows an uptrend. My mouse is way too sensitive here. Alright, so I'd be looking up here for your next level for resistance. Bow. No, VET was not covered yet. Well, I don't know when the last time we talked about VET was, but apparently it was back down here at the end of October on a double bottom play. So somehow we forgot about VET and we missed almost 60% profit or so from that. Actually, if this was a double bottom play, we missed about 80% profit. And the notes didn't change. I mean, this was pretty well dead on. So whenever we last updated this is we did note that there was this double bottom play here, and this line here at 45 was the breakout point, and then we had a resistance zone up here, and it looks like this has played out absolutely perfectly since we charted this last, probably around the end of October. So VET now hit this resistance zone, and we got 3 black crows right here forming. 3 black crows or 3 bearish candles in a row, and this is signaling a harsh downtrend right here. Look at your MACD rolled over. Look at your RSI rolled over. So now we want to see right about there for a bounce. Okay, so we want to look around 50 right here for a bounce off the bottom of this candle, or these wicks and this wicks, tops of these, and top right there. So we want to see if this bounces and then does some shit like that or something. Yeah, this is in a pretty good downtrend. Absolutely perfect call though. I don't remember them when we made this chart, but these notes were obviously still here. So this is what I would see for VET, unless Bitcoin makes a big move or big sudden move and pushes it further down to retest the support resistance flip just a little bit lower at 45. I would expect to catch a bounce around 50 or so. Man, look at the bid support on waves. Why is it just not mooning? Yeah, 50 sats. I would look around there for to catch a bounce. Look at this. Just pump the damn coin. You got two little walls here, and then you got a little bit more resistance further up, but you got nice bid support right here. Just pump already, waves. Pissing me off. Okay, so that's what I see, fellas. And ladies, if any ladies are watching. Everything looks to be going pretty good. I do like CMT though. I do like this spring here and this pump here. This test pump to clear some resistance here. So I think if this holds this zone here, I think this has got a nice clear shot up to that 300 range. CMT does look pretty good. Nano, of course, is great. Swing trade, waves. You just need to get your ass moving. KMD, I would watch the rejection here at about 1100. Aeon. Didn't Aeon have a fork coming? Oh my god, this is ugly. Aeon is ugly, bro. Look at that resistance that it can't break. Look at the rollover on everything. Look at your RSI right there. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Look at your RSI. Look at all of those tops failing to break while your price still made higher high. That's a divergence. Okay, look at your MACD here, ready to roll over and die. Yeah. If I was looking for an SR flip, I would look for a major confluence, probably right in there. So yeah, that's right around that 860 mark that you got. I'd probably watch to see if it come and test the bottom of these candles here, and these candles here, the top here, and the top here. I'd be very, very cautious though, because any sudden Bitcoin move will likely crash this all the way back down to about 800. But if it's a slow and controlled, steady takedown, I mean, yeah, it could snake its way down, build a new base, and then catch that push. Yeah, I'd probably wait on that one for sure. That looks horrible. I mean, this is a nasty parabolic little push right here. Nope, not a good place to take a trend line there. But you can't take it there. Yeah, that's just ugly. That's horrible looking. This again is doing a distribution style here, because you can see all these candles failing to break above the resistance zone, and while the indicators are rolling over to cross back under bear, your price is kind of just riding flat. So it's consolidating under resistance, and I would expect a good drop there to fall back and regroup lower. Well, I don't think, as far as altcoins playing right now, because I mean, if you look during all of this chop zone between the range highs and the range lows for Bitcoin, I mean, this still played in, you know, roughly a 5 to 6% range in either direction, and alts weren't really affected too much by this range. Even though normally in the past, in you know, 3% pushes or whatever, alts would get slaughtered. but this has been playing in a 5 to 6% range, and alts have moved, or they've held their support, or they're breaking out, or what have you. So I think as long as Bitcoin can still bleed out. It can bleed, but as long as it's slow and controlled, alts will be fine. Now, if again, I mean, if we get a 40% or a 20% push in either direction, like we did that one day, that absolutely just killed every altcoin there was, as Bitcoin pumped. Yeah, that would certainly destroy alts. But overall, if we go, well, I closed out the charts already. But altcoin dominant or Bitcoin dominance is in a free for all damn near over altcoins. At the same time, altcoin market cap is increasing. So they're breaking their dominance away from Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin is just steady and doesn't make any major 20% single candle moves, alts are fine. Like almost all of them across the board on weekly time frames are fine. So I think alts are good to play, good to scalp and flip up until February probably, but certainly at least until the end of the year. Lots of good setups out there still. So if there's nothing else, guys, I'm gonna jump off here. Last chance, Bueller. Okay. Well, I'll still be around, guys. If you need me, just hit me up in chat, DM me, or tag me or something. Damn it, Ancient. I was hoping you'd say, nope, have a good day. We're good. KNC actually doesn't look too terrible. Okay, so this is what I was pointing at in relations to Aeon. So Aeon had this nice uptrend, and then the MACD almost looks identical as well right here on the drop, but it consolidated under the resistance and then pulled back to an SR flip right there, support resistance flip. So Aeon would look very similar to what KNC is doing right now, Kyber Network. And then it's building a new base here. You can see the push over here. I don't think this is fully ready yet, so expect this to come up again and then fall back down again. And the MACD to do the same. So it's going to come up and then get one more reset, and then it's going to moon. So the overall trend is bull. You can even throw a trend line on that. And you can see the clear respect of that trend line. Touch, and all these candles touching. Come up and retest this resistance here. And this is actually putting in an ascending triangle as well. So it could do something of this nature as well. If it doesn't do this here, then it could get that pump up there and then come back down. But either way, both are in a solid looking uptrend right now. Let's look at weekly. Ooh, weekly looks rough. It doesn't look too terrible. It doesn't look too terrible. I mean, the 2 week fits this narrative here. Look at the 7-day. The 7-day caught this candle as support, and with the looks of the 12-hour we just had, the 12-hour looks to want to catch a bullish push. So it would support this narrative that it's going to retest that upper channel right there, or that upper triangle. So I would certainly play it rather on these lower time frames. And I would expect a test back up there to 2400. I'm sorry, not the 12-hour. That was the daily we looked at. There. Between about roughly about 22 to 2400 looks about right, because this did cross back over bull. Your OBV went bull, but the MACD didn't get enough of a reset, so it's going to come up, catch that little push, and then it's going to fall back down once more to consolidate again and build another base and then push. Yeah, okay, midterm, I mean, yeah, if you're looking at midterm, couple weeks, month or two hold, I mean, I think it's still okay. If that is the case, then, you know, we'd look up here somewhere in this area around 3,500 or so for a swing. But this could go well into the end of the year before hitting that area. Probably December or something. Okay, I'm done with you guys. I'm getting off of here. I'm going to go take a quick power nap, and then I got to go back to the gym and then taking wifey out to dinner tonight. Okay, so I'll post the live stream in case anybody wants to go back and check it out, and then I'll throw these charts out there, and then we'll call that a day, and we'll check the movement over the rest of the weekend. New weekly candles tomorrow. I think we also get a new 2-week candle, so that'll be very telling for both the majors and altcoins for the next 2 to 3 weeks or so tomorrow evening. And if I can get Satoshi to catch some free time to do like a dual live stream with me, that'd be great. I think Gunner's busy the rest of this weekend, but we'll play it by ear. Okay, thanks guys.